Y'all saw the young man, Aaron Bushnell, who self-immolated, or he set himself on fire in front of the Israeli embassy the other day in an Air Force uniform, and he did it because he was not complicit with what was going on in Gaza. I don't want to get too deep into details on that because I know everybody has their own opinions on that, and I have my own opinion on it, and it's very strong. But I will say that that young man wasn't crazy, so just kill all that. There's no evidence nowhere. He was not crazy, you know. And the reason I'm telling you he's not crazy because some of the same thing that was going through his head were going through my head. You know, we just kind of dealt with it differently, and you know, those things were going through my head. I was much younger than him, obviously. It was a time when you didn't have internet, you didn't have cell phones, you didn't have access to information. Well, now the young folks have access to all this information. So in the military. So case in point, you know, before when we went out in the military and went around the world or whatever, a lot of times we didn't know why we were going out there. We just, you know, yes sir, you know, follow orders. You do what you're told, shut up and color, you know. But nowadays, man, kids have access to the information right there. They know why they're going into these places around the world, and I mean, they pinpoint exactly where the planes are doggone landing bombs and you know, shooting bullets around the world, and they're struggling. A lot of them are struggling with the role they play in. And I got to be careful with this because I am a huge veterans advocate. I don't regret any days of my service in the Air Force, but I do want to speak my truth, and that is there were questions at times, man. There were questions at times, man. You go Google YouTube right now, Google military recruiters and military recruiter live and something like that. You'll see a lot of that. And it was common in the military where recruiters would get folks in, they tell them one thing, but when they get into the military, it'd be something totally different, you know. Back then, it wasn't as bad because even though they told us one thing, we got in, it was something different. We still were not able to connect the dots because we didn't have internet and we didn't have cell phones and we didn't have, you know, immediate access to all this data. Well, now it's different now. So the kids have the ability to access this data and to connect the dots, and you know, doing all this while they're still serving, you know, young in the military, or you know, some of them older in the military. Some of them don't get it until they get older. But the thing that they don't get, and what I'm referring to is, you know, when you go into the military, you raise your right hand, you say you will defend basically the country, the U.S., all of its interests, foreign and domestic. But the big thing they focus on is making sure you understand that you're defending America. The problem with it, and I'm being careful with this because, again, this is my truth. I bear witness to, you know, some of the despicable stuff that I've seen out there that I didn't know, you know, I was involved with. But, you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? My intention was good. When I raised my right hand, it was to defend the nation, to defend my people, and you know, be a proud representative of my family. But there were times when I was on missions in the military, and man, I'd be like, hold on now, wait a minute. They said I was here to defend America, but here I am in Somalia or in Africa, doing crazy stuff over there. And what does that have to do with America? What does that have to do with my people and protecting them, you know?